What's up, everybody? StephenMotivate coming back at you for our, I believe, fourth session on goal setting and how we reach our goals. And hopefully, you've learned a lot. We've got one more session and then we're done with this topic. But hopefully, you've been able to take some things and really apply them to your life. That's going to help you get to your goals in the right way, and ultimately help you get to your goals more often than falling short of your goals. So the topic today is really what's stopping us from reaching our goals, what's sabotaging us from reaching our goals. And the book does a great job of talking about this in chapter 8. But really, just to give you the cliff notes, number one is a lot of people think that the reason folks aren't reaching their goals is because they don't know what to do. But that actually is incorrect. Come to find out, most people know what to do. It's that they fail to do what they know they should do in order to reach their goals. And so, what does that tell us? Execution becomes key to reaching your goals. Not just having them, not just writing them out, not just planning them, which we know all that's important. We've learned about that, but actually executing on those goals, actually completing them, actually getting in the ring and participating in such a way where you're doing what you need to do in order to reach your goals is the problem. It's action. Failing to act is where we typically find ourselves not reaching our goals. So that's the first thing. We need to get drilled into our minds how important it is to execute. Not just to talk, not just to plan, not just to dream, but to actually execute on your goals. Once we get there, we're going to find ourselves achieving our goals at a higher rate. So, number two, why do we not act? Well, it's because we fail to seize opportunities to act. So, folks typically say, well, I didn't have time today to work out. Well, what's not true about that is that you likely did have time to work out. You just didn't allocate that time in such a way where you executed on your goal of working out. If working out is a goal for you, then you have to find those opportunities to work out and act on them. You have to act on opportunities. So many times we spend too much time thinking about what we want to do, thinking about what we want to be, dreaming about what working out would be like, looking at workout videos, which is good. We talked about all that. But what can happen, what sabotages us, is that we fail to seize the opportunity to actually work out. So I'll tell you one thing I do. I have a weight near my closet, so I'm always going to my closet to get clothes, and so I see that weight. And when I see that weight, as we talked about, my subconscious plays a fact into me wanting to work out. But then I've got to take it a step further and say, okay, when you see this weight, you've got to lift it up. And this is not a goal in which I'm going to become the world's strongest man. But if I want to casually have some fitness in my life, casually begin to do something to get my blood flowing, those weights are there for me to do that. But I have to act on them when I see it. I have to actually pick up that weight. And the times when I look at that weight are times in which I can act. If, in fact, I choose to act on my goal versus ignoring it to the point where I don't want to, or I begin to really trick myself into what we'll talk about later is shield myself from actually working out because I've gotten to the habit of walking by that weight so much and ignoring it, then that can become a shield where I'm actually not working out. But the opportunity to act is there if I take it. The time is there if I take it. Uh, you know, you would rarely say you don't have time to brush your teeth in the morning. Why? Because brushing your teeth is a part of who you are. It's a part of what you do. You have a toothbrush ready. You have toothpaste ready. You have a sink ready. You have all the tools you need to brush your teeth. And it's likely you're going to go in and out of your bathroom or a bathroom or a sink, and you're going to see these things on a daily basis. But you have to etch out time and to act, to actually execute on doing that activity. Because if you don't, if you miss that opportunity, you'll find yourself at the dentist more than you'd probably like because you've not really seized the opportunity. So we trick ourselves into thinking we don't know what to do and that's what's stopping us from reaching our goals. No, you know what to do. You're just not taking the opportunity to act on what to do. Many times that's the case. Some people don't know what to do, but many times it's the failure to act that hurts us. And now we take it a step further. Not only do we need to know that execution is important and know that we've got to seize the opportunity, but we also must, this is key, seize the opportunity swiftly. You have to act swiftly because time is moving, time is shaking, time is going. So the more you relax, the more you just la-di-da, turn the TV on, and 1 hour goes by, 2 hours goes by. Next thing you know, it's time to go to bed. Next thing you know, the next day comes, and everything's just running to the point where life is running you, and you're not running your own life. It has a lot to do with not acting swiftly. So seizing opportunity swiftly. That's our third point. We've got to act swiftly if we want to reach our goals. You're thinking about purchasing a new car, you need to start moving swiftly towards your research, swiftly towards understanding, okay, what does car buying look like? You need to gather the information quickly. And you need to stay on it as well because you get momentum when you stay on it. When you move swiftly, you get momentum. And so it's very, 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 very important that we move swiftly. If I walk by that weight and I'm like, man, I don't have much time. If I do it swiftly, instead of thinking I don't have time, then I move a little bit closer to my goal. The time I use thinking about the time I don't have is time I could be using acting on the goal swiftly. I don't have time to clean up this room. And right now my office is a mess. I've got things everywhere. And I've got to make time swiftly to get this done. And I plan to do that today, but I can't just plan. I have to execute. And I plan to actually execute on that today. But if the next time you see me on video and you see things are in disarray a bit, you know what happened. I didn't act swiftly. I didn't move swiftly. There was opportunities to clean. But I stayed in bed longer. I poured another bowl of cereal. I stayed on the phone longer than I should have. I read that article that maybe I didn't need to read that had, wasn't going to help me progress towards my goal. And that's what happens. You do that enough, and not acting swiftly sabotages you from reaching your goal, sabotages you from getting to the success you need. So you've got to listen to me good here and say, wow, if I want to reach my goals, I've got to move swiftly. If I want to, let's see, what's a good goal? If I want to become an artist and have paintings for sale, I need to start painting swiftly. I need to move on this idea. I need to seize the opportunity in the lifetime of the opportunity. There's a season, there's a time for opportunities to be seized. Uh, a sunny day may not be a sunny day tomorrow. So if you're going to go get some sun, you've got to act swiftly and get outside and get the sun while the sun is present. The opportunity for acting is now, and you must act swiftly if you're going to reach your goals. Very, very important. Pretty much that's one of the things that really stuck with me out of the book, is because we get preoccupied, we get distracted, and we have indecision. Those are the things that stops us from acting swiftly. We get preoccupied with something else. I'm on the phone too long. I'm watching the game too long. I'm doing this or that too long. There's only so much time. I'm taking too much of that time, and I'm occupying it with something else that has nothing to do with my goals. Me seeing who wins the NBA championship or the golf tournament has nothing to do with my goals. That's entertainment to me. But if I preoccupy myself with that, it stops me from acting swiftly. Distraction. The neighbor comes over and wants to chit chat. I had no plans of talking to the neighbor, but that can distract me and my time from acting swiftly towards watering the garden. So you've got to be very careful about distractions that will stop you from reaching your goals. And how do you manage that? If someone comes over and wants to talk to you, you should be nice, you should be pleasant, but it should be clear that you are doing something, that your time has an assignment. And I would love to sit here and talk to you, but I'm on assignment right now to get this garden watered. So talk as much as you'd like, but I'm going to be watering the garden. I've got to say, my distractions can't prohibit me from acting swiftly, because if I talk to you for an hour, next thing you know, the sun's up and it's not a good time to water. So you have to, they say you should water when it's cool, when the heat's not too hot. So early in the day, or right early in the evening when things start to cool off, is when you should water your plants. But if you miss that opportunity to act swiftly because you're distracted, because the neighbor came over and talked to you, because they wanted to ask you about this, and because the trash didn't come, and because blah, 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 you will not reach your goals at the level in which you could reach them. The third thing is indecision. That's what I was describing earlier. I don't know if I have the time. Should I do this? By the time you take thinking about what you need to do to clean up the room, or to straighten the bed, or to do the jumping jacks, or go on the walk, is time that you've wasted, literally poured down the drain in indecision. Unable to decide, I'm going to act swiftly. Unable to decide, I'm going to do this now. I'm so busy thinking about doing it that I fail to do it. Indecision will stop you from acting swiftly. Preoccupation, distraction, and indecision. Recognize them and stay away from them so you can act swiftly. All right, let's keep moving. We must have shields. I thought this was good too. We've got to have shields around our goals. Shields help us stay focused. They help us block out other opposing goals or other opposing activities that will stop us from reaching our goal. Right now in this room, the door's closed. The door is a shield. Say, hey, I'm doing something with this time right now. This is a shield to keep this time from being interrupted with anything else that I have to do. And opposing goals are a real thing, right? I could be spending time with my daughter right now. I could be spending time with my family. But you've got to make a choice to decide, all right, here's how I'm going to use this time. And allocating your time and shielding it is very important. Having a calendar, putting things down on this is what this time is used for. Because if you don't use your time wisely, then you'll wake up and not know what you've used it on. You have all the time there is. It's just a matter of if you're using it wisely. There is no more time. Everybody has the same amount of time. So all there is to have, you have it. You are time wealthy because there is no more time to have. It's all about how it's being allocated and budgeted. So you got to have shields. You got to have shields. You got to have shields. Um, and it's interesting because when you have shields, psychologically, things will start to turn on or off to support the shields you've set up. So if you set up a shield around healthy eating, then you will start to recognize, nope, can't eat that, can't eat carbs, can't do this, can't do that. Um, you'll literally try to be protected away from things that go against your goals. But if you also have a shield around, you love to eat good, one of your goals is I'm going to enjoy food, then your shields will pop up when it says, when you see a delicious cheesecake and you like to partake in it, your shields are going to block out dieting. It's going to block, you're not going to think about carbs. Your mind will literally block out the thought of carbs or dieting or exercise. You will think about eating good because our minds will reinforce the shields we set up. Okay, so having shields around your goals is important. And here's the big one. Here's the big one. Last point, point number 5, I believe, is measuring. Your brain wants to close the gap on any discrepancies between where you are and where you'd like to be. Your brain, your body, your person wants to close that gap. But the only way it can do that is if it knows there's a gap. Well, how does it know if there's a gap or not? That is through measuring, or what the book calls self-monitoring. If you don't have a monitoring system set up, there is no gap to close. What's the difference between a pickup basketball game and a formal basketball game? It's the level of monitoring, the level of measuring that happens. You have coaches in a formal basketball game. You rarely have coaches in a pickup basketball game. You have referees in a formal basketball game. You rarely have referees in a pickup basketball game. Why? Because the level of measuring and monitoring helps you make changes and helps you close the gap on discrepancies towards your goal. In a professional basketball game, you're actually paid, compensated. You actually have a full structure, a team, a staff that's built around you winning. That's the goal. In a pickup basketball game, the goal could be to hang out, spend time with friends. Winning is secondary to some, right? Or show your talent. You're rarely getting paid. Why? What's the difference? It's all the monitoring. It's the difference. What you measure, you'll manage. What you don't measure, you won't manage. I want to help you here with this. So, another point, let's say it again. The more you manage, the more, the more you measure, the more you manage. The less you measure, the less you manage. The more you monitor, the more you manage. The less you monitor, the less you manage. Self-monitoring gives you feedback. It tells you, oh, here's my goal. Here's where I need to be. I need to do something different to close this gap. But if I'm not measuring that, my brain doesn't know that there's a gap to be closed. Oh, we're just going to la-di-da-di-da through the day. We don't have a plan. We don't have goals. We don't have anything we're trying to accomplish. Our time isn't allocated in any specific way. So, hey, what does it matter if I sit here and watch TV for 5 hours? I don't have anything I'm supposed to be doing. People say that. Well, I don't have anything else better to do because they have not spent the time monitoring what they should do versus what their goals are and how there's gaps there. Because if they did, you'd rarely hear people say, I don't have anything else better to do. Well, what are your goals? What are your plan? What's your purpose? What should you be doing? Have you done those things? How close are you to getting to those goals? That's the things that happen in a mind that's self-monitoring, in a mind that is measuring. So what will sabotage you from reaching your goals? You don't have any monitoring in place. A business monitors how much cash it's making. What's its net income? What's its revenue? What are the expenses? Why do they do that? Because the goal of business is to make a profit. If I don't monitor that, I will do nothing different to close any gaps I have on if I'm profiting or losing. If I'm losing, I want to close that gap. And if I'm profiting, I probably want to profit more. So I have to monitor. Self-monitoring is the key. It is the key to addressing the saboteurs, the things that sabotage your goals. The more you step on the scale, the more you're going to say, I need to do something about this weight. If you've gained significant weight, it's probably unlikely that you spent a lot of time checking that weight. Because the more you check it, the more you monitor it, the more your brain is going to say, gotta close this gap. If you don't check it, yeah, it's nothing to monitor. No gap to close, no discrepancy. Your brain is not going to say, beep, 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 beep. We're off kilter because it has nothing to go by. Isn't that good? Is that good to you? It's good to me. One reason we don't like to self-monitor is because of negative feedback. The negative feedback essentially can be a blow to our self-esteem, can hurt our feelings. It can make us feel less than. And so some people don't want to self-monitor. They don't want to get on the scale because they may feel sad. But the feeling, the emotional part of it, has nothing to do with the practical, essential nature of knowing where you're at in order to help your brain see there's gaps and we need to make some course corrections to get to where we're going. With self-monitoring, what you find is either there's underregulation, what the book calls underregulation, not doing enough of the right thing to get you to your goal, or misregulation, where you're not doing the right things to get you to your goal, working hard as hell, but you're not working on the right things. Climbing the ladder, but it's against the wrong building. You're supposed to be cleaning windows on this building. So you took all your equipment up the ladder and you're ready to clean windows just to find out the customer's building is over here. So misregulation, underregulation, these things are identified when you self-monitor, right? That's it, folks. That's the good news. We can attack the things that are attacking our goals if we focus on execution. That's one. Understand that we've got to seize opportunities to act. That's number two. We've got to act swiftly. When the opportunity comes, you got to act right then. No more time to think. It's time to act. You got a little, if you got children, you got I don't know, 15 minutes to try to clean the room. You got to act in those 15 minutes. You got 5 minutes to try to get ready for the day, you got to shower in 5 minutes. You have to act swiftly if you're going to control your time and your day and reach your goals. That's number three. Number four, got to have shields for our goals. Our mind will help us reinforce the shields we set up. So we've got to have shields. Number five is measuring. We've got to self monitor our goals because our brains will close the gap if it sees a discrepancy from where we want to be and where we are. It'll try to close that gap. It'll try to make course corrections if there's a path that it's aware of. Where there is no path, where there is no measurement, there is no management. If no one's keeping the score, if no one's watching the free throw percentage, the coach won't take the bad free throw person out. He won't change the strategy, right? So we've got to really, 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 really pay attention to our goals, our monitoring, what we're doing to make sure that we are making the right corrections. That's how we reach our goals. We got one more session. I wish you the best of luck in reaching your goals. If you need support reaching your goals, reach out to me. There's numbers below, contact information below. Love you. Want to help you reach your goals. I want help reaching mine. Have a great day. Peace out.